Me and my best friend Lillian and her blue tick and dog Eddie, sitting on the front porch, cooling in the shed, singing every song the radio played, waiting for the Alabama sun to go down to red dirt girls in a red dirt town. Me and Lillian. I remember my granddaddy always talking about the red clay, you know, and things like the crepe myrtles are a real common plant around the South, and you got your blue tick hounds, and things are sort of outside of, it's like boiled peanuts, people outside of. In fact, I stopped on the way down here and at a little gas station, and I couldn't believe they had boiled peanuts in the little refrigerator section where you get your bottled water. Now that's not something you're going to see, I don't think, north of Alabama. You're not going to see boiled peanuts very often.
She has this genuine enthusiasm for making records, that I don't even see in a lot of the younger people I work with. They almost treat making records as the thing that you do in order to have, the stuff, whatever that stuff might be. But to her, that it's not a means to an end, it's the end in itself.
These past few years have been very intense for me. I've been in a more solitary space, and coupled with the fact that I found myself after Wrecking Ball realizing that I could not follow Wrecking Ball with just another group of songs, no matter how good they were by other people, that I had to bring something different to the table, because Wrecking Ball was a very special record. It had raised the stakes a bit. I don't know how else to, and I'm talking creatively here. So I definitely wanted to kind of revisit that territory again. I wasn't ready to abandon it, and in order to give myself permission to go back there, I had to have something very dramatically different, and that was obviously my own words.
I'm playing. No, it's like,
yeah, it's sort of implied. You are my sorrow, you are my splendor, you are my shelter through storm and through strife. You are the one I will always remember. There's kind of that. Yes. You are the one I will always remember. I knew I had to change the landscape for myself, my working landscape, and also remove myself from certain responsibilities, which was the band, keeping the band together by working. I just trusted that I could get these guys back together again when the time was right. I left the record company so that there wasn't that, well, when is the next record? And I left my management that I'd had for several years, because there's always that pressure to kind of be working so that the management company is working. So I cut those things away from me. I cut the moorings and let those things loose, so that even though I ended up working on other people's projects, there wasn't that, it was a different kind of responsibility. It seemed to leave me room to be thinking of my first priority as writing. Oh, the dragons are gonna fly tonight. They're circling low and inside tonight. This idea of pearl is such a beautiful thing, one of the most beautiful things in the natural world. But it comes from a great deal of pain and aggravation on the part of the oyster. And I saw it as a metaphor for suffering, the suffering that everyone goes through, no matter how much we try to avoid it. I think it usually catches up with us. And I found it strangely comforting, in a way, to think that perhaps something beautiful was being created out of the suffering, even if we can't really see it.
Well, here she is, 30 years later, and you know, we're doing stuff that gives me the same chills up my, the hairs go up on my arm the way they do when I hear Love Hurts for the thousandth time with her and Graham. You know, it's like the same feeling. And she's tapped into that, and it's not going to go away, you know.
Bang the drum slowly as the things slowly and reload the world again. But now is the bitterness, there is peace over Arlington. Well, Bang the Drum Slowly is about my father, and obviously the loss of my father was a very painful and profound experience in my life. I think losing a parent is something everyone knows they're going to go through, but you're never prepared for it. In the case of my father's death, it did come quite suddenly and unexpectedly. The song manifested itself in very sort of basic regrets of all that he knew. And but instead of learning about those things, I kept him more at a distance of, you know, he's my father, and I suppose I didn't get to know him as a person, even though I knew what an amazing person he was. Well, I love this band, and it's the only way you can survive out there on the road is, first of all, if you've got people whose company you enjoy, and secondly, really great musicians who make it exciting for you night after night. I got to know Daryl on Wrecking Ball. I was astonished by how talented he was. He can play anything. He's a fantastic bass player, but he also plays wonderful percussion, and his voice just takes your breath away. Brady, he was incredibly versatile. He could also handle the stuff from earlier in my career. And he and Daryl made a really righteous rhythm section. I remember thinking in the middle of recording Wrecking Ball, this is great, but what am I going to, how am I going to take this on the road? Where am I going to find somebody who can play this stuff? And I started thinking, I said, well, now there's Buddy Miller. He understood country playing, but he also could go into that other area that sort of doesn't have any kind of name, where there are no categories, where anything is possible, as long as you have somebody with talent and taste, and who is a kind of a fearless player. And that's what Buddy is. I had a confidence and a comfort level with Malcolm. I'd worked with him before on Wrecking Ball. I knew how talented he was. I think he's a really good engineer. He's really inventive. He comes up with really unusual things, but not just for the sake of being unusual. It always has to do with what's going to unlock the song, what's going to put it in the most interesting setting, what's going to reinforce the emotional message. I really enjoyed being able to stay at his house. The feeling that the recording process there was never sort of a stop time. I mean, it would stop naturally. And if I went up to my room and relaxed for a while, and thinking the day was over, I might wander down while he was doing something, and things might resume again. So I felt good about the fact that I was always kind of on duty, but I was also very comfortable just being there and having my stuff there, having my dog there. You know, the guitars were there, I could pick up and strum. I think that's what enabled me to write Red Dirt Girl.
All right, I'm feeling fearless tonight, so I'm going to try a brand new song. This is one that I've recorded from a new record that's coming out in September. And we never played it before. And I'm also going to play without a pick. God, what am I doing to myself? Did somebody put whiskey in my whiskey or something? Anyway, this is called Red Dirt Girl. Me and my best friend Lillian and a blue ticket Emmylou Gideon, sitting on the front porch, cooling in the shed, singing every song on the radio played, waiting for the Alabama sun to go down to red dirt girls in a red dirt town, me and Lillian. Just across the line, a little southeast of Meridian.
I got the idea for the song on the drive down from Nashville to New Orleans. And when I got there, even though we were working on other things, whenever there was a moment, I would just pick up a guitar and I would work on it, because it really felt like there was something happening there. I think there's a curiosity about it. And you just know when a song title should be an album title. After 25 years doing this, I'm probably as excited, if not more excited, and pumped by music, by the act of making music, than I was in the very beginning. There's some songs that I think that can open an album and some songs that can end an album, and not every song can occupy that space. And Boy from Tupelo, lyrically, for me, it felt to me like it had to end the record. It's more a culmination as you travel through these songs, and then you get to a certain resignation, but hopefully a certain strength. And the song is kind of saying, to be continued. You don't love me the sun. Don't need a Bible to tell me so. I hung around a little too long. I was good, but now I'm gone. Like the buffalo, that boy from Tupelo.
that?